Tracy Hugelmeyer here from VintagepreneurUniversity.com, where I help vintage sellers start, grow, and scale their business on Etsy. I also own my own vintage business, Rustic Guide, that I've had on Etsy since 2013. And today, I cannot wait to get started with our brand new Friday feedback. But first, a quick little reminder that whenever you are getting any kind of feedback, make sure when it comes to your own shop and your own business that you are only making the changes that make sense to you, and also that you make your changes thoughtfully so that you can keep an eye on what's working for you and what's not working, okay? If you'd like to find out how to get your own review, you can check out VintagepreneurUniversity.com. You can hop on over to our free Facebook group and join there. All you have to do is become an Etsy Junkie and you can get your free review too. I give you all the details in the notes below, so make sure to check that out. All right, so I'm going to jump right into today's review. I'm so excited to introduce you to Andrea with DotnBettys and her adorable shop. Andrea has been selling on Etsy since 2013, so I have a feeling we're going to learn some things from her today too. The first thing that I fell in love with Andrea's shop is her story. I mean, I've already taken a quick peek at the significance of what this photo is right here, but it all ties in with the name, and I just love how she's bringing all of this into her brand, even up here in her banner. It's kind of the same style as the picture, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that in a moment, how it's all tying together. If we look at her about section, she tells the story about how she named her store after her mother and her mother's best friend since childhood, Dot. So this is the two of them, I'm assuming, which is just so super smart and cute. And how you bring that story into your brand is just really, really cute. I love it. And Andrea, I love your banner. It's so super cute. The only thing is it's a little bit small, and I think we can make this bigger super quick. I'm going to show you how to do that. You can do it in Canva. I'm just going to take a clip of it. So I'm going to screenshot it. And once I screenshot it, I just opened it up in my computer's Paint application. So then I can take a clip of it and just select it. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Select it. And then I'm going to crop it and save it. And then I'm going to go to canva.com, and that's where I am right now. I'm logged into my demo account, so this is a free version of Canva. I do pay for it, but I like to show tutorials in the free version so that you can see what that looks like. So we're just going to create a design, and then I'm just going to type in here Etsy. And you can see we have Etsy shop cover, Etsy shop icon. We're going to choose the Etsy shop cover. And then I'm going to upload that photo that I just made. So here it is, DotnBettys. So I'm going to pull it in here, and then I'm just going to make it bigger so it's the right size. Let's see if we can do this with any luck. So it's not going to be as easy as I was hoping, but you could still play with it in Canva to see if you can get it the right size. Maybe you have a different version of this graphic so that you can play with it a little better. And this isn't just the best example using a screenshot of what was on your account, but my point being that this is the right size for the the banner at the top that we were looking at in Etsy. So if you can get it to fit this size, then it's going to look a little bit better in your shop. And the other thing I noticed is that when you look on the mobile version, so this is the desktop version right here, but when I looked at it on the mobile version, it didn't even show up, which was interesting because I did double check some other people's shops that had, a banner up here to make sure that they were still showing, and they did. And I'm wondering if it's just because it's so small that for some reason Etsy has some kind of filter that is making it not show on the mobile version. You know, it's too small for that version. So if you can make it bigger, like I was just showing you in Canva, then that will pull your banner into the mobile version as well. So that's just a little thing that I thought was interesting that I wanted to point out to you. The next thing is, I think this is perfect when your shop title here, the way that you include, you know, 3 general terms for your shop, which is what I always recommend. My only question here is about the unique bird feeders. And the reason I say that is because these are really good, this vintage home decor and classic barware. The reason I'm pointing out the unique bird feeders is because when I go to your bird feeders, when I went to your bird feeders section, I noticed they're adorable, by the way. These are really cute. But I noticed you don't have that many of them. And then when I started digging a little bit more and kind of looking at your recent reviews compared to, you know, down your reviews from quite a while ago, I think that maybe was something that you sold a lot of before in the past, but you're maybe not selling as many of them in the currently, I guess I should say. And maybe I'm wrong, but that was just my initial impression. And if that's the case, then I would suggest you think about maybe, because, you know, as we talk about a lot, trends change, and I'm not telling you not to sell them, but maybe it's time to shift gears of you know, what you're using as your primary keywords. You could still sell them, but pull in something else that's selling better for you now. It would be my recommendation. So I notice you have a lot of classic barware and drinkware, and you have, you know, that's the bulk of what you have in your item categories too. Your item categories, by the way, are perfect. They're talking to us in keyword searchable terms, which is what you want. So vintage holiday, vintage treasures, probably not treasures. People usually don't search for treasures. You might want to think of another word there that describes them better, but vintage home, vintage handbags, these are all really good. Treasures might be the only one that I would think about changing. And again, it's just because that's probably not something that somebody would search for. And I always have to say it, even though I know I talk about it a lot in my reviews, but just in case this is the first time somebody's watching this, as far as we know, Etsy is not looking at this section here, and they're not looking at your shop titles when in their algorithm. But the outside search engines like Google do look at all the sections. And so the more we can be specific about using search terms and giving them very specific clues about what we have to offer, the more likely they are to send that traffic our way. So that's why you would want to optimize both your shop title and your item section titles in that manner. So if you're still set on keeping unique bird feeders, I would probably just push it to the back here since it's not your top seller. And you know, you want to make sure that you are optimizing for your best sellers and what's getting you the most traffic now. So you can even look at your keywords in your own Etsy stats to give you some clues with that as well. If you're not sure what keywords to use, that's one way to do that. But I mean, you can also kind of just go by what's selling the best for you. And I can tell you're selling a lot of classic barware or vintage barware just by looking too. So definitely make sure you have that. Before moving on from this section, I do just want to point out that you have 3,661 sales. So you are obviously doing so many things right. You know, this is just kind of a tweak here and there, something you can try out that's new, but you're definitely already using a lot of great techniques to have that many sales. So really great job. I love your photography. I think you do a really good job of, you know, showing the whole item in your photo, also showing detail. Even the way that you photograph your barware, this one's really, really good because you can see, you know, you can see the close up, but you can also see that there's more available in this set. Even though you don't have all the pieces showing, it's still very obvious that you're gonna, you know, what's for sale here. I also think you have a lot of great unique photos. Just the way you change up your photography. You've got some upside down here, and they all really go together really well and complement each other. So I think you're doing a great job with your photography. In a bowl like this, you might want to just back it up just a little bit so you have the whole bowl showing. That's not a critical thing, but I'd say if anything, that would be my suggestion. I was also super impressed by the amount of reviews that you have per sales. I mean, you're almost at like 25% reviews, which is really, really good. And so many great comments that clearly show that you go the extra mile, that you're including a thoughtful note. You can see just here, because of the thoughtful note or, in the whole experience, I would definitely buy from her again. You are giving that excellent service. So all those things are really contributing to your success, and that's very obvious to me. I know sometimes our about sections are the last things that we get to. I know that's true with me. I know I have it on my to-do list to go in and update my about section, but I would probably update this photo. I'm wondering if you used to sell paintings. That's what I'm getting here. And also, you're highlighting your bird feeder, which isn't a bad thing, but I would just recommend that you again go back to what is currently working best for you and try to incorporate that in your about section. So maybe bringing some of your barware into your about section. If you do still sell paintings, it's totally relevant to bring it in. But if you don't, you might want to consider replacing that with something else, maybe showing, your barware beautifully displayed in your home somewhere or your workshop, whatever makes sense to you. That's just a small tweak that you could do. And love your policies that you're using the template. Since you've been around since 2013, you definitely have the option to not use the new policies. That came about 3 to 4 years ago, something like that, for any of us who are older than that. But you did switch to the new policies, which is great. I always recommend that you accept returns, exchanges, and cancellations. So that would be my only recommendation here, but I love that you're accepting returns. And you have some very thought out FAQs, which are great too. Okay, so I chose these emerald green beehive stem wine water glasses to review for her item review. They're just gorgeous. And I think the title here is really good. We recently learned from Etsy that they recommend commas for separators. So that's right on point with what's recommended. So the title has got 2 great long tail keyword phrases, which I think are right on point. I would, if you wanted to add any more here, you could think about adding a comma and then gift for new homeowner, or I'm not sure if these are mid-century, but something like mid-century barware gift or something like that would be good too. Again, your photos are really, really good. I think you do a great job of displaying all the different angles. You can even see the little etching there, which is probably really hard to photograph. And I like this photo a lot too. That would probably make a good front photo too. So the only other thing that you could consider is something showing this in action. So if you have maybe a small bar setup in your home, you could photograph it there, showing it in a lifestyle type of atmosphere to help your customers imagine how that would fit in their lives. And this does that a little bit because it's on the tray here. So I think you're accomplishing that a little bit here. You could expand on it even more if you maybe put like a barware napkin, like a cloth napkin, or I don't know, any prop to kind of show how it can be incorporated in someone's life a little bit more is a good alternative photo to add to help sell your items. And then here in the description, I think you include all the great information that you need to include, I would recommend that you separate this out just a little bit so that it's clear. Whenever you have a large paragraph like that, most or many times, shoppers will, even though it's just a paragraph to us, when you're looking at a lot of things and you're in a shopping mindset, you might not want to, read through all of this. It might just be too much for you at that point. So anytime you can simplify that for your shoppers, the better chance you have of them sticking around and ultimately buying from you. So you could break this up with bullet points or sections or both. And then the other thing that I love that you let them know that you also have a set of 6 of the same glass available in your shop. This would be a perfect opportunity to include a link to that other set so they can go right to it and find it. So that would be a recommendation too. I always recommend internal links so that you can keep them looking in your shop, and that would be a great way to do that for this particular listing. Your tags look really great here. I love that you have a variety and you've really thought out the different tags that can go here. The only thing that I was looking for, hoping that you had in your tags, and I would recommend you add, is this keyword right here, decorative etching. A lot of times a great way to come up with keywords are to go back to your description and look at what you wrote, because a lot of times your great keywords are right there in your description and you just have to pull them out into your titles and tags. So I would add decorative etching in this case, either to your titles or tags. And yeah, otherwise I think you're doing a great job of capturing. I love that you have St. Patrick's Day bar. That is a perfect tag for this because they're green. So that was really creative and thoughtful. So those are looking really good too. So Andrea, you've been doing this for a long time. Like I already mentioned, you're doing a lot of things great. It's always good to take a step back when you've been doing things for a while and think about, what is really working best for you right now. So that's why I brought up, is it time to shift gears a little bit from what you're highlighting, from maybe the teacup, the bird feeder teacups, which are really cute and probably sold really well for you in the past, but maybe aren't selling as well for you now. And again, that's just my assumption, might not be the case. To really highlight your barware, I think that's really relevant, and that's something you can really hone in on, maybe for a new direction for your shop, or just the primary direction for your shop. Just a suggestion. And that wraps up our review today for your amazing shop. Thank you for volunteering. Again, if you want to find out how to get your free review, all you have to do is become an Etsy Junkie. All the information is in the notes below on how to do that. And then I'd be happy to add you to the queue. And it's always my intention to get to all of them. So I'm definitely plan on doing that. Thank you so much for joining me today, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.